shooting a bunch of these kind of low tech at my house, but you get the point. The point is I want you to be in the Greek New Testament a couple times a week, or as often as you possibly can be, because that's the goal of this class. So today, if you've noticed, we're kind of all staying in the same general body of literature, because this is some of the easier syntax, the easier grammar of the Greek New Testament. So we've been in Revelation. We'll go back there probably the next time. We've been in 1 John, but this time let's try the Gospel of John. And so today our verse comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 8. And so if you go back to the beginning of your Greek New Testament, you've got Matthew, then you've got Mark, then you've got Luke, then you've got John. But you notice that in front of all of them, you actually have this word kata, the same word. So it looks like it starts with a kappa. All of the words do. But then it's the next word that is actually the word that denotes the book. Kata means according to. We'll learn that in lesson 6. Kata, according to. So they're the Gospels. They're really the Gospels about Jesus Christ, but they're according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So John is the fourth one in. To find it, you have to find the first word starts with that kappa, kata, and then the second word starts again with the yoda, just like 1 John did. According to John, that's the form. And if you notice something, you ought to know something already now that you didn't know before, which is Yoan Ain. Now they're capital letters, so they're a little bit unfamiliar to you, but do you know what the Ain ending is? If you look at your verb charts for chapter 3, ain is an accusative. So kata, we'll find out, takes its noun. The noun that goes with that preposition is in the accusative usually. So John in this form is actually John in the accusative. We're looking at chapter 3, verse 8. As always, if you need to just pause the video, find your place. There's no problem with that. You find John chapter 3, verse 8. It's the story of Jesus and Nicodemus. And when you get it, come back and we'll read together. Okay, hopefully you're there. We're in John chapter 3, verse 8. There's some words. Now you're beginning to know a lot of words on this. You'll be shocked how many you know. You read after me. The same principle applies. If there's a definite article, I'm going to read that together with the noun, and you pronounce after me. Ta pneuma. You know that word. Hupu. Whoop. Let me try that again. Hapu. See how it's got a rough breathing mark? Hapu. That's a rarer word. Thele. Another word you know. Pene. Kai. A word you know. Tain phonane. That's another word you know. I know. It's getting so great. Autu. And then akues. That's a word you know too. So there's a bunch of words in here you know. Let's just keep reading a bit, and then we'll finish out part of this sentence. Al, uk, oidas, pothin, erkatai, kai, pu, hupage, hutos, estin, pas, ha gegenemenos, ek tu pneumatos. You don't know as much of the rest of this verse, but the first part of it you know a lot of the words. So let's start there and do some translating. You help me out by saying out loud the answers. Ta pneuma is the Spirit. The Spirit, and then you actually have to skip over the next two words and go to the fifth word, pne. Pne means it blows. The Spirit blows or it moves along. Hapu, wherever. Thele. Yeah, it's to want, to wish, to desire. So you have to play with it a little bit. But the Spirit basically blows wherever it wants. Kai and tain phonane. Yeah, this has a lot of different meanings, but it also can mean like the sound. Okay? And the sound, autu, of it, its sound, akues. What person and number? It's a present active verb from akuo. It's a second person singular. Look at that ace ending. Put your fingers over everything but the last three letters. Do you see that? That's the key. If you do not know this, You must know this before you can move forward. You cannot read Greek if you can't read present active verbs. So go back to chapter 2 and start learning that verb chart. Super, super important. There's very few times I'm going to ask you to memorize something in this class, but you have to memorize those 6 verb forms to be able to move forward. Okay, so basically this says, the Spirit blows wherever it wants, and its sound you hear, you singular, akouo, second person singular, present active indicative from akouo. Al, but, ook, that's a word you know, not. Oidos is you don't know. You know, but now the ook negates it. You don't know. Where, erkatai, where it comes from, kai, pu, and where. Upage, where it goes. Hutos, thus, estin is, that's becoming very common, we'll get that pretty soon. Pas ha gegenemenos, everyone who has been born. Ek to pneumatos, from the Spirit. So basically, the Spirit blows wherever it wants. Kai tain phonein out to akoues, and you hear its sound, but you don't know where it comes from, where it's going. Thus is everyone who has been born of the Spirit. That first line of verse 8, there's so many words you know. Practice that. Look around in the Gospel of John. There's other words maybe that you know too. Just keep going at this. Really, really nail down those present active verbs from chapter 2. If you don't know those, you have to go back and learn them. They're super important. Okay, hopefully by getting in the scripture, it's an encouragement to you to remember why you're doing this and to think about it and to just kind of be diving into the Word as much as you can. Okay, great.